Welcome back, me lords and me ladies. Today's I'm not doing that. Today's video is about horses and are they OP? Chivalry 2 has added horses to the game for about 2 weeks now since the 2.5 Tenosian update, and I've been playing around with them quite a bit and I've been having a lot of fun, to be honest. But the question at hand is, are they OP? Do they need to be tweaked a bit? What are the problems with horses, the pros, the cons? What does the community think? I asked you guys over on Reddit. I asked some of the Chivalry 2 streamers.
They are also super annoying on Wardenglade.
Also in this video, we're going to be going over some of the spawns that the horses are at, so you can be on a horse as much as possible if you're a horse enjoyer like I am. We're going to go over some of the weapons that are best used on horseback and some of the tactics involved and playstyles that I found to be beneficial when you spawn as a cavalryman. Lastly, right before we jump into the video, I'm gonna ask you guys to throw me a like and a comment and maybe a sub. It helps out a lot, okay? If I had to address the question head on, straightforward, I would say no, horses are not OP. But really, that all depends. It depends on the skill level of the player on the horse, of course. It's not like you can just hop on a horse and you're instantly gonna start getting more kills. On one side, you have this mobility, this great mobility. You can enter and exit combat at your whim. You also have the bonus damage, which is the momentum in which you bring your swing to on an opponent when you're riding a horse. So if you're riding really fast and you hold a heavy attack and you hit them, you're gonna get a ton of bonus damage and you might even one-shot that player. On the other hand, you're kind of exposed because you're sitting on top of the horse. That means all the archers can see you because you're standing a full body length above everybody else. The horses also get stuck on literally everything. And if you can't move and you're stuck while you're on horseback, you're dead, my guy. Your options are to try and get unstuck while you're holding block. It's really not a great situation to be in. I wish there was a quick dismount option where I could just roll off my horse, take some damage even to balance it out. I don't know. But to dismount on a horse now, you have to look straight down and use your interaction button. And then you have to wait for this animation of your guy calmly getting off a horse. It's ridiculous. It gets me killed all the time. I asked you guys on Reddit what you thought about the horses and if they were OP, and here's what you guys had to say.
If horses and riders took the multiplier damage they gave out, it'd be balanced. I don't know. Once you get the timing down and if you play safe, you can go on some really stupid kill streaks. I think they pretty balanced. If you get it right on a horse, you'll get the kill. If you don't, you'll get stuck and owned. I find riders much easier to shoot than infantry, so I think so lol. Goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga.
I was a little surprised, actually. I thought that most of you would say that they're OP and they need to be removed from the game, etc., etc. But it seems like a mixed response. Like half of you don't mind them and enjoy that they're there, and the other half of you think that they're annoying and OP. So that's what Reddit thought. When considering weaponry when you're on horseback, you want to go for reach and power. Things that stood out to me when testing weapons on the horse were the Halberd, the Executioner's Axe, the Great Sword, and the Highland Sword. The Maul was pretty fun, and the Dane Axe, although they were a little bit short for the job. The Spear was pretty good, but I mean, it was kind of difficult to time those stabs properly. And then Javelin and Archer, for being like a mounted range combat unit, was super fun. Like the Javelin was my absolute favorite out of all of them. I think out of all the weapons though, I'd like to recommend the Halberd to anyone looking for something suitable for cavalry combat. The slashes on it are so quick. It has decent range. The overhead is insane, just like when you're on foot. A little bit harder to hit though, but insane overheads. And when you're on horseback, the timing is everything because you're moving so quickly and you're trying to time these heavy attacks or just simple slashes. And the Halberd's a big winner for me. I got lots and lots of kills with it. Another good thing about the Halberd is that it's a footman exclusive weapon. So you're going to spawn with the Halberd and you're going to have spike traps. And when you're looking to steal a horse really quick, just make yourself easy to find out in the open. And sure enough, a cavalry guy will come after you and you just lay down the spike trap. And more often than not, they'll get stuck. long enough for you to do a couple quick overheads and knock them off the horse, and their horse is there for the taking. Highly recommend the Halberd. Now, if you're looking for something that packs more of a punch, I'd recommend the Executioner Axe or the Greatsword, whichever you prefer. I prefer the Greatsword. It's got phenomenal reach in its slashing and overhead. It does a buttload of damage. One of the drawbacks though is that you're a vanguard, so you're a little bit more squishy when you're on top of that horse, and archers will make quick work of you. It is a little bit slower to swing around than the Halberd and other quicker weapons, but boy does it make up for it in its power. For me right now, it's a toss-up between Halberd and Greatsword, depending on what I'm feeling like that day. I'm getting used to both of them, and they're both fairly comfortable for me. Cannot go wrong with the Greatsword. Now the Dane Axe, it's a bit short, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I miss a lot of kills on it. I think in this clip I miss like a triple, quadruple kill. If I would have been using a greatsword, that would have been a quad kill for sure. But the Dane Axe, it's so quick. Oh my god. It's like, if you can get the quick timing on it, you can pull off some really sneaky stuff, especially if you're riding around and flanking the enemy the whole time. Its heavy is pretty good, does a ton of damage. Again though, the drawback being that you have to play Vanguard and you are susceptible to ranged attacks. You're a bit squishy, but I think if you're playing Vanguard and you play like a hit and run kind of style, you should be fine. Another good pro tip of the Dane Axe is you could just throw it on horseback, and guess what? You got another Dane Axe. So if you don't mind the short leash on the Dane Axe, go ahead and give it a shot. You won't be disappointed role-playing a Viking. The Maul. The Maul doesn't belong on horseback. It is so short and so slow, it's almost useless. Unless you hit somebody with it, and then it hits like a truck. What can I say? It'll one-shot everything in a heavy on the horseback. If you're going full speed, and you hit someone with a heavy, they're dead. 4 guys in a row, dead. It's quite ridiculous, but absolutely powerful. The only thing it's outmatched by is the Highland Sword, I think. Now, the Highland Sword is probably the best two-handed weapon you could use on a horse. The problem being, the timing is so weird and awkward that you'll miss most of the time. Anyways, trust me, the Highland Sword, very OP on horseback. Just get used to the timing. You'll do fine. Now to the Javelin and to the bow. On horseback, the Javelin and the bow really shine. The problem with being an archer on foot is that you're always getting flanked, and if a bunch of enemies rush you, you're kind of SOL. You have to like stay in your spawn or stay near teammates. But on horseback, you have this great mobility to move around, and when you're using the Javelin and you press your throw button, your horse kicks up and stops and does this glorious movement, and you throw your Javelin, and it's amazing. It's so much fun. The bow's alright, you kind of have to be stationary to use it. I'm not even going to show footage of it because it's boring, but the Javelin, wow. Even like the stabbing on it, which is I'll admit, the stabbing a little bit difficult to actually hit your target, but once you do, if you do a heavy, sometimes you're getting one-shots on people. The special attack with the Javelin on the horse one-shots people. It's a fantastic, super fun hit and run class to play on horse. You also get a little shield to help protect yourself and against range attacks and other cavalry guys. Speaking of which, chasing down other cavalry with the Javelin is a breeze. One thing weird about the Javelin, I'm sure it's a bug, is that if you choose your class beforehand and then you spawn as a cavalryman, you'll have a bow on your horse for some reason. It won't spawn you with the Javelin. But if you come up to a horse with your Javelin and hop onto it, then you get to keep your Javelin. So a little annoying, I'm sure they'll fix it, but funnest class on horse by far is the skirmisher.
You think horses are OP? No, I think they're annoying to go against though.
If you're not on a horse, it's like you're a human in a human pinball machine, and the sounds, you can't hear anything. You can't hear anyone walking up behind you either.
Are horses OP? It's hard to say. It's subjective. And what I mean by that is that if someone is good at the game, they're going to be good at the game on foot or on horse. It doesn't really matter. It just takes some practice, some getting used to. Players using hit and run flanking methods while on horseback will seem OP because they're always behind you, and that is the whole point of the playstyle. So I understand how it feels to be on the receiving end. But you guys have to remember, horses are here and horses are here to stay, and a lot of us are having fun with them. If the cavalry is really pissing you off, you can switch to archer, javelin, start using spike traps. A two-handed spear is a great weapon to counter a horse. For everyone who can't stand the horses, they wish they weren't in the game, they have PTSD, yada yada yada, here's a little mini montage of horses getting owned. if you stuck around this far, I'm gonna give you a juicy little tip. There are these things called desertion areas. If you stick around them long enough, the game will automatically kill your character. You guys know this already, I know this, everyone knows this. The thing is that it's no different for horses, but there's a way to cheese it. Because your horse is moving so quickly, you can start a heavy attack right before you enter the desertion zone and release it while you're in the desertion zone. So you can essentially harass and spawn kill waves of enemy players. I know I'm probably going straight to hell for that one, especially since I'm spreading it around like an STD, but I gotta give you, you loyal viewers something, especially since you've already watched 10 minutes of me blabbing on about horses. Now there's a couple spawn locations for the horses that I'm aware of. Some of them are on the Breach of Bodwin and the others are on the Raising of Askendir. As far as I know, there isn't any horse spawns on the Charge of Wardingblade or on Desert. Now the first one being on the Breach of Baldwin on the first stage. If you're facing the Mason Wall, it's on the left, right here behind the shack, and it spawns quite frequently. The other horsey spawn location on the Breach of Bodwin is at the very last stage when they're shooting cannons at the wall. If you're facing the Mason Wall, it's on the very far left, right behind these 3 stones. On the Raising of Askendir, there's 2 horse spawns as well. One being on the bridge. If you're facing the Tenosian side, it's on the right hand side, right in the corner by this wagon. And the other 2 spawns, they're on the next objective, where you have to push all the pillars down in the city. If you're facing the Tenosian army, one of them is on the alley on the left, about midway through up the alley, and the other one is near the end of the road, in the corner on the right in the alley. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys learned something about the horsies. I'm still unclear whether horses are OP or not, so let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to leave me a like and subscribe for more future Chivalry 2 content.